ransomware is just not going away. In fact, it kind of got quiet there for a little bit, and then about halfway through the last year, COVID, it really took a hit, and it's even hit mainstream. School districts are really easy targets, and I can probably do a whole nother hour webinar on why school districts are easy targets. But typically it's because there's just not a lot of funding and resources available to have sound security, either resources from a personnel perspective or resources from a time perspective. So talk a little bit about what schools need to be aware of, and also how they can start to maybe low spend, but start to kind of harden themselves, or at least be aware of what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Ransomware has become kind of the de facto attack because it's so profitable. I mean, that's why if the attackers made no money at it, it wouldn't be nearly as dominant in the industry as it is. But the truth is, a lot of people, they don't have quality backups, or they don't have any way to restore from a disaster, like having all your files encrypted. And they just pay. They just pay the money in hopes that they get their data back because they're held hostage. I mean, it's why it is called ransomware. And the large success of that has caused it to become much harder to detect. Everyone is kind of doing it now, so there's a collaborative effort to make sure that these malicious actors and software are harder to find, harder to detect, so that they can get more people infected. It's a challenge for schools or any sort of agencies that are out there that don't have strong security budgets or just strong IT budgets, because it takes a fair amount of spend sometimes to get some of the best tools that help against things like ransomware. But it's not to say that a tool is always the number one answer. I mean, a lot of the ways that people get infected by ransomware is because someone clicked on a link in an email that maybe they shouldn't have. They went to a website and they saw a security alert, but it said something about payroll, so they thought it was important, so they continued on. So what I always recommend that is, can still be part of it, but should be a part of every security program is in-user training. That's where you have to start, especially in a school. You've got so many people who are coming into your network and visiting and things like that. You've just got a ton of points for an attacker or someone to try to come in. Is making sure that you have staff who are trained, who understand the technology to look for issues and errors, know what to click on, not what they shouldn't click on, and who to report. And if nothing else, if it looks like it's something that maybe isn't right, to just ask a question. Ask something or ask a person before you click on it, even if it is legit. Even if it costs you a half a day or something to pay a bill, it's better than having your entire network compromised. That said, though, there are plenty of endpoint protection products that are out there that are getting more advanced. They're getting to use things like artificial intelligence to detect behavioral patterns rather than just use things like signatures and traditional detection methods to find these things. And they're getting really good at it. But as we've learned, we have taken machine learning to help find what the bad actors are doing and detect them when they're doing something they shouldn't. The attackers, however, have decided to take the machine learning that we are using to create these products and use them for their own purposes to help avoid detection. So for every step we make, the same tool can be used to help avoid detection as well. So it's a constant battle. That's why it's difficult to stay ahead. Training is fantastic and one of the best tools you can do, but it's a layered approach. You need that. You do need security, and you need someone who can kind of be there. I mean, an end user who doesn't click on something does not protect you from a machine that's not been patched, right? I mean, that's something that's open and exploitable and detectable on the internet. It doesn't require a user to engage in behavior or activity at all. So it takes a village, if you will, to do this. It takes quite a bit of coordinated effort, but the best security in the world can be defeated by someone clicking on the fake GPS link.